per minute. Speed dictated by V.V. Subbarao. Government Junior College, Pentpadu. Navin Hyderabad, Kukatpalli Housing Board. I must apologize to this House for not being able to attend this debate in person. We have sometimes to attend to the business of two houses, and when something is before the two houses simultaneously, it adds to the difficulty. I have tried to keep in touch with the debate and have read reports of some of the speeches both here and in the other house. It is my duty to listen very carefully to the criticism that is made and to the suggestions that are made. The public and the press have criticized the President's address as a mere repetition of the policies of the government. It gives or purports to give a broad survey of foreign and domestic affairs. Every government should have an integrated outlook consistent with its foreign and domestic policy. We are not in charge of the world, and the other countries do not necessarily carry out our dictates or follow our wishes. A policy which was idealistic and advanced in the 19th century may be out of date today. All of us have been hurled suddenly into the middle of the 20th century, irrespective of whether we wished it or not, but our minds lag behind in terms of the past. At the end of the last war, we saw two mighty giants rise among the nations, the United States of America and the Soviet Union. Other countries are far behind them in terms of power and technological growth. This situation has upset all the world balances, yet I find people still talking in world terms without realizing or appreciating that nothing in the world of today can remain static. The situation in the Far East is also completely different from what it was in the past. I merely mention this to point out to you that we must be alert about the changing conditions. The application of implementation and the working of our principles and ideals depend on external circumstances. Those circumstances are hardly ever wholly in our control. We have to accept things as they are. Everyone here would like to build a new world according to his heart's desire. Similarly, we also aim to go in a particular direction, but it is not always possible because we cannot ignore certain factors, much less in a democratic society. Of course, rapid changes consistent with the aims of a government can be brought in a country, even though the wishes of considerable numbers of people have to be disregarded. But such a thing is conceivable only in a particular type of political and economic setup where one group wields supreme power. When honorable members accuse us of complacency, I feel that they have little understanding of how my mind or that of my colleagues functions. Even if we were so foolish as to be complacent, the circumstances we have to face make it impossible for those of us who are in responsible positions to be complacent. I cannot speak for those who are responsible for the government of other countries, but I can certainly speak for my colleagues and for myself. I want to tell you that we approach our problem in all humility of spirit and with feelings utterly devoid of complacency and smugness. We feel that however small we might be as men, our problems and those of the world are big. We must approach them with all the wisdom we possess and with such experience as we have. Although we have to advance step by step, we must constantly be on the alert so that we can change our step wherever necessary. We must always take counsel with others and never forget to maintain the spirit of humility. I am anxious to seek help and guidance in every important matter that comes up before this house. Apart from such knowledge, most of us have been conditioned by India's national movement and have a common background of thought and approach to problems. Many of us, thus conditioned, subsequently took different paths and we were entitled to do this. Our understanding of problems is necessarily influenced by our background, which we have to adapt to new conditions. Having once been part of the nationalist movement, we cannot possibly think of functioning negatively. Of course, negation inevitably had its place during our fight for freedom, but now we are building India anew. It is imperative that we function positively. Honorable members of the opposition will realize that positive functioning is more difficult